Hello everybody, this is Fernando for the latest aliens and UFOs video. Alright, let's go ahead and let's wrap up this series here and we'll do a new suggestion. Thank you so much for your suggestions everyone. I'm going to give this series a pause, start focusing on some other playlists out there, and then eventually come back to this one. This one has to do with a fascinating case involving an engineer who took some pictures just randomly out there out of the blue when he was just doing his daily job, and they turned out to be some of the most iconic UFO pictures yet. I'm sure you've seen these before. Here's the history that's associated with them, and then also the mysteriousness tied to the disappearance of these photos and how they eventually came back to him. That just definitely adds so much intrigue to this particular case. But it has to do with this. In fact, you're looking at one of the photos now. It's known as the Hefflin UFO Case. So let's go ahead and let's share this information here, and then I'd love to hear what your comments are with regards to finally seeing what the information is after these iconic pictures are explained. So let's go ahead and let's talk about that here. So it happened back on August 3rd, 1965, there in Orange County, there in Santa Ana, California, specifically to a guy by the name of Rex Hefflin, hence the name associated with the Rex Hefflin UFO case. He was an Orange County highway maintenance engineer. He was out there just again randomly out of the blue. His job involved detecting traffic hazards and then also just basically traveling throughout the entire set of roads, taking pictures of certain signs too. In fact, that was part of his job specifically with the camera. He always had it ready in his situation, in his vehicle, because he wanted to make sure that he could record any type of obstructions or other type of problems, and then it was just part of his daily duties. But as he was doing so, out of the blue, that's when he realized that there was this unidentified flying object that he saw out of his van window. Imagine that. Imagine just doing just a random day in your life out there in the workforce, and then you see something like this. Now, the reason why these pictures are so iconic, and he actually ended up taking 4 of them, is because of the way that they look. They look quick, they look sharp. It gave you the impression that because he knows how to handle a camera due to his job and the daily use of it, that he definitely knows how to position things quickly and then take it right on the spot in terms of, let's say, footage, as opposed to some of the past other type of UFO images. You know how something always shows blurry, it shows out of focus, it shows like a wrong angle, maybe it even doesn't show up on camera at all. This, we're talking about someone that was not an amateur, but more, not a professional, but more on the lines of someone that was experienced when it came to working with a camera. And so he took 3 quick photographs of it. It lasted maybe about 20 minutes in total, and he took one final picture of what he described was some kind of weird, I don't know, like something in the clouds. It was almost like a rotating band of light. In fact, he saw it there when he was taking the pictures of this UFO as well. The camera that he had was a Polaroid 101 camera, and the type of film that he had was a 3000 ASA film. This is apparently a type of camera slash film that you have to put 2 hands on it, and you have to remove the photograph after every single shot. So you can't just wind it up real quickly and then take another shot. No, you basically have to take out one particular set of film, put in the other one. It shows the pro that he is, because he was able to do a good number of them, 3 or 4 of them within a time span of 20 seconds, and he had it showcase these type of images just in picture perfect clarity. So he took these photographs, and then lo and behold, a little bit later, in fact it was September 20th, 1965, that's when all of a sudden things took a whole different turn. Remember I was mentioning earlier about the mystery, the intrigue tied to this case. Here it is. That's when 2 men in black, as they were described, showed up to his door. Who knows how they knew what his address was? Who knows why they knew what he did in terms of the photographs? What may have helped was the fact that he was apparently trying to radio back his office during this time period, during that fateful day when he encountered those UFOs, or that UFO out there. But when it happened, there was nothing. The radio was completely dead. So who knows, maybe this was a telltale sign that things were being contacted. But yes, two men in black showed up, and when that happened, they flashed a card, and they claimed to be from NORAD, which is the North American Aerospace Defense Command. They knew about the photos. They asked to see them, and so he told them that sure, absolutely, they looked official enough, and so he was able to come back with the photos. What they didn't know was that he only came back with three of them. The fourth one he actually kept there. And so they told him something along the lines that they would give the photos back. They were just going to try to investigate things and then find out the results of the UFO. But nope, that not happened. After some time period, I don't know exactly how long it was, but after some time period passed and he realized, hey, I'm not getting my photos back, that's when he decided to track not just them down, but try to see what's happening there at NORAD itself. And when he did that, he used the National Investigations Committee on Aerial Phenomenon. And when that occurred, they tried to find something there at NORAD, but they basically got the silent treatment, both them and also Rex. NORAD said they did not have the photos, and they also said that they never sent anyone to visit Rex himself. So maybe they were telling the truth. Maybe, obviously, like these men in black or whoever they weren't anyone that was associated with NORAD, so they could have absolutely just been truthful in their existence, but in terms of like the existence of these mysterious men in black. But absolutely, the photos were still gone. They were gone from his possession, and in fact, later on, some reference of it showed up on Project Blue Book, and they listed the photos as a hoax. So somewhere along the way, the photos did pass along to other departments, in this case, the Air Force, but either way, they were not in his possession. But if you thought that that the story ended there, here's another mysterious twist. Cut to 1993. So how about that? We're talking about what? Almost 30 years later. He still don't have the photos. Who knows if he had even forgotten about them by this point, or if he was still thinking about them periodically. But cut to 1993, and at his home, he got a phone call. And then when he answered it, there was a mysterious woman on the line. She did not identify herself. All she asked was, have you checked your mailbox lately? And so when that happened, he went up to the mailbox, because she hung up at that point, and then he saw that it was empty. I don't know if he thought much of it too at that point. I'm sure that in his case, he knew that something was probably going to be up. But when that happened, 30 minutes later, another phone call happened, and it was the same mysterious woman. Anonymous woman, not giving any details as who she was or where she was calling from. Only thing she said was the same thing. Have you checked your mailbox lately? And then she hung up again. This time, though, when he went out to the mailbox, that's when there was a plain 9 by 12 inch envelope there, one of those classic manila ones. There was no writing on it. There was no postage on it, no stamps, nothing that would showcase where this thing came from. But in it, there were the original 3 photographs that he had lost almost 30 years ago. How about that, right? When it comes to things suddenly taking on a much more mysterious, almost Twilight Zone turn. But there were the photos, and they were the original ones. In fact, they've been compared to the film. They've been compared to whatever, like in terms of that people use whenever they study, examine things on photographs to make sure that they're the real deal. But no, absolutely, they were compared to the 4th photo especially, and they were found to be the real ones. So somebody had the photos when they took them, somebody kept them. They obviously got passed through several departments, and then eventually, somewhere along the way, it ended up back in his house, and then he had them in his possession, and they took on the iconic stance that we know of today. Now, there are several shows that have tried to see and mimic the photo itself, because it looks too perfect, right? When it comes to these UFO photos, it almost looks like something is just easily hanging on a string, silently still, and then or being placed upward from, let's say, a very long stick, a clear stick of some sort. Either way, though, they look too pristine, and so it's been examined and it's been tried in terms of experiments to see if that can be matched, but no one has been able to truly replicate how these things look. They even look like, let's say, somebody threw a frisbee of some sort and then just happened to capture the film of it, like a photograph of it in midair, but that didn't create the same thing there too. So anything involving this particular encounter, whatever this UFO was, it's the original one, and it was captured by Rex Hefflin. He had that unique encounter with the Men in Black, and then they took the photos and eventually got them back afterward. Fascinating case, no? But if anybody has any more info, anything else I might have missed, then please post those comments below. What about those of you, if you've seen any of those specials trying to recreate this particular set of photographs to try to prove that they were fake? What an oxymoron that is, right? But yeah, try to let me know what the evidence was and see if it matches there too. I haven't had a chance to see those. All right, everybody. Thanks again as always. Take care. Bye.